So I have made many top 10 videos about acting Oscar nominations. Today we're looking at the best performances from actors who only were nominated once. Hi, it's Brian. Welcome to the Awards Contender, and it's time to talk about the finest Oscar nominations for one-time nominated actors. Before we begin, I have two rules. The first rule is that it can't be an actor who won on their first nomination. This video is all about actors who were only nominated the one time, and my second rule is nobody who's been nominated in the last 20 years. Like in this video, I could list Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, but that just happened. She'll probably have another nomination in the next few years. I really want to talk about people in this video who probably will never be nominated again. So my cutoff year was 2004. Are you ready? Let's get started with number 10, Best Actor, Harrison Ford, Witness.
What are you gonna do, Paul? You gonna kill me? You gonna shoot me? You gonna shoot him? Stand back! You gonna shoot him?
So here is a nomination I feel like your average Joe doesn't know exists. Of course, Harrison Ford is one of the most famous actors of his generation. I mean, talk about a movie star. Who is Han Solo, who is Indiana Jones. He has made so many popular films throughout the years, and when you think about Oscar-nominated actors, I don't think Harrison Ford is your go-to, but he did get one. He got one Oscar nomination in Best Actor in early 1986 for his sublime dramatic performance in Peter Weir's Witness. He does a great job in this movie. He is subtle and strong and emotive at times and really creates a three-dimensional character that you're rooting for all the way through. I feel like Harrison Ford should have more than one acting Oscar nomination. I think the big one is The Fugitive. I think he is great in that movie. Should have gotten in. I also think a nomination for Raiders of the Lost Ark would not have been unjustified. I mean, the movie got into Best Picture and Best Director and was one of the giant hits of 1981. So that could have happened, but hey, at least we got the one. A great Harrison Ford nomination for Witness. Number 9, Best Supporting Actress, Judith Anderson, Rebecca.
She had a right to amuse herself, didn't she? Love was a game to her, only a game. It made her laugh, I tell you. She used to sit in her bed and rock with laughter at the lot of you.
Oh my God, what a deliciously sinister performance Judith Anderson gives in Alfred Hitchcock's 1940 masterpiece, Rebecca. As a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan, I find myself revisiting Rebecca over and over again throughout the years. There is so much to love about that movie. The engrossing narrative, the luscious cinematography, those fantastic performances by Joan Fontaine and Laurence Olivier. But my favorite thing about Rebecca is that Judith Anderson performance. Talk about iconic. She has this unusual, creepy vibe about her from one scene to the next. She seems kind of trustworthy at first, but then you learn more about her past. You learn that she might have been in love with Rebecca and that she wants to preserve her memory forever. I mean, this is just perfect casting. Judith Anderson in Rebecca, come on. She's so talented, I'm kind of surprised this is her only Oscar nomination. But hey, for an actor, if you're only gonna have the one nomination, I mean, talk about a great one, the ghoulish Mrs. Danvers in Rebecca. Number 8, Best Actor, Lawrence Fishburne, What's Love Got to Do with It?
He's so big, man. Oh, so you done lost...
Leave her alone,
So here is another incredible actor we have all adored for decades. He's been a part of so many important films. Boys in the Hood, The Matrix, Apocalypse Now, the list goes on and on. If you can believe it, this wonderful actor has only received the one Oscar nomination for playing Ike Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It from 1993. He probably pushed out Harrison Ford for The Fugitive, funnily enough. And in this captivating drama, he does such a good job, a performance that easily could have been overshadowed by Angela Bassett's astonishing performance as Tina Turner. All of the focus could have been on her, and that would have made sense in a way. I'm so happy the Academy voters recognized how fantastic Fishburne is in the movie as well. I feel like this guy should have 2 or 3 Oscar nominations for acting by now, but at least there's the one for his terrific performance in What's Love Got to Do with It. Number 7, Best Supporting Actress, Jean Hagen, Singin' in the Rain.
You've got to talk into the mic.
Well, I can't make love to a bush.
All right.
So sometimes an actor gets 1 Oscar nomination in their long career, and it's for the wrong movie, the wrong performance. Such was not the case for Jean Hagen in 1952's musical masterpiece Singin' in the Rain, a popular silent movie star who has to transition into the talkies, but her voice is horrendous, like nails on a chalkboard. This is a richly textured, very funny performance from Jean Hagen I'm so happy was recognized by the Academy. Number 6, Best Actor, Bill Murray, Lost in Translation.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
This is, without a doubt, one of my favorite performances in the movies of the 21st century. I adore Lost in Translation. Sofia Coppola made such a lasting gem about friendship and connection that just burrows its way into your heart. I love this movie. I love those 2 central performances, and this is Bill Murray's finest moments. I mean, I adore him, of course, in Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day and probably 10 other great movies, but there's just something about his reserved, down-to-earth, kind of emotionally closed-off performance as this weathered actor in Lost in Translation. It's just impeccable work from the great Bill Murray. I'm so happy he got an Oscar nomination. He was probably in 2nd place after he won at Golden Globes in musical or comedy and at BAFTA. This will probably be his only Oscar nomination in his long career, and boy, is it a great one. Number 5, Best Actress, Dorothy Dandridge, Carmen Jones.
I love you. That gives me the right
That'll give you
to...
no right to own me. There's only one that does. That's me, myself.
This was an historic moment in the mid-1950s. Finally, after almost 30 years of the Academy Awards, we had our first African-American nominated for Best Actress. For Otto Preminger's Carmen Jones, a very entertaining musical drama, Dorothy Dandridge in the title role gives the performance of a lifetime, and so thank God the Academy did the right thing and nominate the first African-American woman in Best Actress. Shockingly, this wouldn't happen again until the early 1970s. 1973, we got 2. Cicely Tyson for Sounder and Diana Ross for Lady Sings the Blues. Far too long, I say, but back in the 1950s, there at least was Dorothy Dandridge for Carmen Jones, an historic nomination, a wonderful performance, and even though this was her only nomination, it is of course one for the history books. Number 4, Best Actor, Liam Neeson, Schindler's List.
There's a nice sheen about it.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I'd say I'd get you one, but the man who made it's probably dead. I don't know.
So I don't know about you. It is wild to me. Wild that Liam Neeson only has the 1 Oscar nomination in his long career for Steven Spielberg's 1993 masterpiece, Schindler's List. That was a necessary nomination. He is incredible in that film. For 3+ hours, he is mesmerizing on the screen. He is such a fascinating character to follow throughout that narrative, to see his character arc, his changes. Here we are at the Oscars in early 1994 again in Best Actor, the same year as Lawrence Fishburne gets nominated for What's Love Got to Do with It, the same year that Harrison Ford probably got very close to a nomination for The Fugitive. I should probably mention, in case you didn't know, the winner for Best Actor that year was Tom Hanks for Philadelphia. Nobody was beating Tom Hanks that year. That includes, of course, Liam Neeson for Schindler's List. But come on, really? His only Oscar nomination? He wasn't even nominated for Kinsey? Like, he's so good in Kinsey. Liam Neeson should have more than just one Oscar nomination. Number 3, Best Actress, Sharon Stone, Casino.
I'm sorry, Randy, I'm not going to let her in. I'm not going to let her in the way she's behaving.
Not going to let me in?
Who knows what you're going to do in there?
What do you mean, what am I going to do? I'm in the same clothes for 2 days. I want to get a few of my things. Big deal.
This movie by Martin Scorsese, 1995's Casino, is one of my favorites. I think this is a dynamite film. The story, the cinematography, the pacing, the music, the performances, everything comes together in Casino. And this really was the apex of Sharon Stone's career. Like, she had been trying to break into bigger films, get meatier parts for more than a decade. She finally breaks through, first in 1990's Total Recall, and then especially in 1992's Basic Instinct. She gets a Golden Globe nomination for Basic Instinct, but I think the subject matter of that movie held her back from getting a Best Actress nomination at the Oscars. And then she's in a few questionable, steamy adult thrillers. After 1995, her status in the industry slowly tapers off. She never gets a great role again. There was just the one in 1995 in Casino. This truly was the one time in her career where she could show off everything she was capable of. And she succeeded in every way. She does not hold anything back. She is fierce and strong and unpredictable. You never know what she's going to do or say next. She has such an electricity about her in Casino. It's as if she knew this was going to be her one shot at an Oscar nomination, and she got it. So well deserved. She won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. And you know what? As much as I love Susan Sarandon's performance in Dead Man Walking, and as much as I adore Meryl Streep's performance in The Bridges of Madison County, my vote that year for the Oscar win would have been Sharon Stone for Casino. Number 2, Best Supporting Actor, Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
Can you believe that? Can you frickin' believe that Samuel L. Jackson only has the one competitive acting Oscar nomination? One. I mean, okay, the guy can phone in a performance here and there. I mean, how many credits in film does Samuel L. Jackson have? Like 200? Maybe more? I don't know. But come on, at the very least, Jackie Brown, Django Unchained. He should have been nominated for one of those. Obviously, Quentin Tarantino gets the best out of Jackson, and he did so in Pulp Fiction. His role as the hitman Jules was instantly iconic in 1994, is still very much iconic today. It is just a brilliant performance for the ages. I understand why Jackson said shit when he lost the Oscar to Martin Landau for Ed Wood. This was a performance that should have won an Academy Award, and this is definitely a guy who should have another competitive Oscar nomination by now. Potentially good news for all of you Samuel L. Jackson fans. This is the one person I'm talking about in this video who might be coming closer to a second Oscar nomination. Jackson has a film coming out later this year called The Piano Lesson, and I'm already hearing rumblings of Oscar buzz about Jackson in this movie. So fingers crossed, everybody. Now, before I get to my number 1 choice, a few runners up. Number 11 and number 12 are for great performances in horror films. Janet Leigh in Psycho and Linda Blair in The Exorcist. 2 all-timer performances I adore, and the only nomination for either actress. Next up are 2 performances from primarily comedic actors, Albert Brooks in Broadcast News and Gene Wilder in The Producers. I love these 2 guys in a variety of projects, and I love that each one got an Oscar nomination. And speaking of Tarantino, one more great acting nomination for a Quentin Tarantino movie. Robert Forster's Best Supporting Actor nomination for Jackie Brown was a wonderful surprise. And finally, that takes me to my number one choice. This was an easy call for me to make. It is an actor who got other nominations and a win for the same movie, but this was his only acting Oscar nomination in his long career. My number one choice is Best Actor Orson Welles' Citizen Kane.
To arrange for the indictment, prosecution, and conviction of Boss Jim W. Geddes!
What a monumental achievement Citizen Kane was for the very young Orson Welles in 1941. He was in his mid-20s. He co-writes, he directs, he acts in something that has been heralded by many as the greatest motion picture of all time. Citizen Kane is such an influential piece of artistry that has had such a profound impact on filmmakers and film critics throughout the decades. It is a perfect, mind-blowing, ahead-of-its-time movie that feels like the work of a seasoned master, somebody who's already made 10, 15, 20 films before. That this was Orson Welles' feature film debut as a director is kind of insane. And then on top of that, his performance in the movie is also stunning. His physical transformation, his emotional transformation, like for an actor who hadn't really been in the movies before, in his mid-20s, to deliver such a richly textured performance as he does in Citizen Kane. He has so many powerful moments in that film as an actor, and then when you remember he was also directing the thing at the same time, it's too much. Like, it's too much for me to even comprehend. I don't know about you. I'm so happy Orson Welles won an Oscar for Citizen Kane along with Herman J. Mankiewicz in original screenplay. I'm thrilled he got a Best Director nomination, well deserved. And for his mesmerizing, groundbreaking performance in Citizen Kane, Orson Welles is clearly, I think, the number one choice for the best one-time acting Oscar nomination of all time. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think of my list for the best one-time acting Oscar nominations? Is there anyone I left off the list? We'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.